Do you have a question, Amy? I'm putting it in the chat. It's been in the chat. TIN83. Make sure you log in. I only got like 3 of you here so far, so I'll give you guys a little bit of time. TIN83. Make sure you've logged in. Alright, still missing a bunch of you. Got Sierra, Elijah, Gio, Isidro, Jada, Jose, Karen, and Melissa. Make sure the rest of you guys are logging in. Yeah, you should be on Nearpod. Yes, go to Nearpod. Make sure you are logging in. Sweet. Yeah, I'm just waiting for people to get in there because I'm missing half of you.
Mister, can you say the code now?
Yeah, TIN83. It's in the chat.
All right.
I'm still missing a bunch of you guys. Grayson, I'm missing you. Who else am I missing? Adrian, missing. Crystal. No Crystal. No Diana.
Wait, did you call my name, mister?
Yeah, supposed to be on your pod. You don't.
Huh? You kind of lagged out.
You're supposed to be on your pod.
Earpod. Oh, okay. I got it right now. Sorry, I was picking on the thingy.
Yeah, make sure you guys are in. Yeah. Who else am I missing? I got Elijah. I got Fernando. I got Gio. I got Isidro. Checo's here. Jocelyn's here. Zay and Jonathan are here. Karen and Lissa. Mr. Martinez, you gotta log in, buddy. Make sure you're clicking at the chat, typing in the code to get in there, bud. Earpod.com.
Mister, I don't see the code.
It's in the chat. I put it there like 6 or 7 times already. It's there. Keep typing it in. Do you see it, Adrian? Alright.
Oh, now I see it. It's loaded.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess some of you guys are lagging like crazy. I don't know if it's the network or the internet. Alright, let's start, guys. I'm recording this too, so for those of you guys who have problems, you can watch that. Alright, so this is going to take a little while because it's kind of complex. So you guys know what to do for your body paragraphs now, right? So you should have transitions, your reason, and then details. And you should only have one reason for body paragraph. You should have at least 3 body paragraphs. Now we're going to look at just a couple different techniques for writing an intro. Okay. So there's other ways of doing it, but these are probably just like 4 good techniques. So just like TRD, I have a little acronym there that helps you remember what to put.
Mister, I just logged in.
I don't know what you said. Just make sure you're following. All right. So the acronym to use for intro paragraph is GRT. So the first thing is a grabber. Okay. So a grabber is basically, it's just a clever beginning that is used to grab the reader's attention. It's the first thing that the reader sees on your paper. So every single one of you guys, regardless of what type of technique it is that you use in the beginning, it has to be some sort of grabber. right? So something that's going to make the reader want to read on. Okay. Some of you guys might have heard that as a hook, right? Depends on your teachers in the past. So they might have called it a hook, but same thing.
All my teachers called it a hook.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. Same thing. Grabber, hook, it's the same exact idea. All right, so these are 4 different ways of grabbing the reader's attention. There's other ones, but these are just 4 really good ones, right? So I'm going to go over each one of these 4 different types of grabber, and then you guys can choose whatever you feel is the best. So the first one's a rhetorical question, the second one's a powerful statistic, the third is a meaningful quote, and the fourth one is an imagined statement. We're going to go over each one. So what's a rhetorical question? Okay, a rhetorical question is a question asked in order to create a dramatic effect or to make a point rather than get an answer. The question is interesting and it makes the reader want to find out more. So a rhetorical question is basically a question that you're not supposed to answer. It's just supposed to make you think deeper. Okay, that's what a rhetorical question is. So I'll give you some examples of that so you can kind of see what they look like. So here's examples of rhetorical questions that you would use if your topic was about school uniforms. So the first one is, do you want everyone in school to be the same? Do you want children to be victims of gang violence? Do you want poor children to feel ostracized? That means like left out, put somewhere else. Do you know how much money uniform companies are making? Right. So you start off with basically like a do you want or do you know? Right. So it's like a question that makes you think about some sort of topic. Okay. So when you read these sentences in the beginning, it makes you think deeper about the question and it kind of helps you side with whatever the argument is making. Again, that's what a rhetorical question looks like. Statistic, which is the second type of grabber, are basically just math facts, right? So if I want to make a strong point, one of the best ways of making a point is using math to prove myself correct. So if I give you a statistic that's really powerful and has like a lot of data to back it up, it's a good way to strengthen your argument. So you want your reader to be shocked or impressed by this numerical data so that they agree with your position, right? So let's look at some examples of statistics. So if I'm using a topic about, should kids use school uniforms? These are some percentages or like numbers you could use. So 35% of all students in school cannot afford a new pair of sneakers, right? So that's a statistic. 90% of all students in school prefer to express their own individuality. The uniform companies made over $5 billion last year. Gangs are responsible for 75% of all violent crime, right? So you use some sort of statistic that you find that will back up your argument, and you put that as the first thing that someone would read. All right, so next one is a quote, right? So I take a meaningful quote, write the words of somebody who's either respected and related to the argument you're making or someone who has something powerful to say about your topic. So I take other people's words who I know people respect or somebody whose words are so powerful that somebody else reads it, they're going to agree with my topic. So again, why is this not going forward? Here we go. So these are some meaningful quotes, right? So if the topic is about gun violence, and again, all I did was take the words of other people who are either powerful. So Elizabeth Warren's a very popular Democratic. I think right now she's a senator. So what the heck just happened there? Why did it do that? That's weird. Strange. Oh, I must have hyperlinked it. We lose 8 children and teenagers to gun violence every day. If a mysterious virus suddenly started killing 8 out of our children every day, America would mobilize a team of doctors and public health officials. We would move heaven and earth until we found a way to protect our children, but not with gun violence. This is actually very ironic because this quote is from years ago, and actually we did have a big virus and we actually did mobilize. So it's actually ironic. This actually happens in real life. So this was a quote I found years ago, and it's ironic that this actually did happen. When a country with less than 5% of the world's population has nearly half of the world's privately owned guns and makes up nearly a third of the world's mass shootings, it's time to stop saying guns make us safer. The last quote, the Second Amendment is as timeless for our founders grasped that self-defense is threefold. Every free individual must protect themselves against the evil will of man and the mob and the state. So those first 2 quotes would be used for getting rid of guns, and the last one will be used for keeping guns, right? So again, I just take somebody who has a powerful quote and I use their words. And then this one is an imagine statement. I feel like this is probably like the best strategy to use. You make a statement and it begins with like the word imagine, and then you either create a best or a worst case scenario, right? So I create the scenario that somebody's going to be like, wow, they're shocked by it. So let's just say if this is about population control, so population control is the idea that the world's population is getting too big, and what should we do about it? So this was be an imagine statement for that topic. Imagine living in a world where there are no sisters or brothers anywhere. There would be silent houses as children sit quietly in their houses all by themselves. This would happen if population control existed. So this would be, some idea of you shouldn't limit the population. So that would be an imagine statement. This is a different one. Imagine a world that's filled with the echoing screams of babies crying and people writhing in pain from extreme starvation and famine. This would happen if we do nothing about overpopulation. Right? So you can use these techniques for either side of the topic. You basically just try to create this, what's the worst thing that would happen if you don't listen, or what's the best thing that would happen if you would listen, if you don't listen, or if you do listen rather. So you can use either side. So you can make this really like powerful great scenario or this really powerful bad scenario. So again, what were the 4 types of grabber that we just went over? Let's see if you guys remember any of them. What was one of them? What are the 4 types of grabber we just went over?
Meaningful quotes.
Yep, so that was quote, right? That's one. What else? You just did one right now. What is it? It's right in front of you.
Imagine statement.
Yep. What are the other 2?
Rhetorical question.
And there's one more. What was the last one? Starts with an S. Starts with an S. Who remembers? What is the one that starts with an S? It's another word for a math fact. What's that called? What do you call a math fact? Nobody remembers.
Some?
Not a sum. Called a statistic.
Oh,
So statistic. Right? So make sure you know those because I'm going to have questions for you in a second. All right, so answer this question, which you should all know by now. Answer that question. Good job, Miss Pacheco. That is correct. Torres, that is correct. Good job. Some of us were not getting that correct. You spelled it wrong or. Make sure you are answering the question. Make sure you're answering, guys. I don't know if you guys are lagging or what.
I know the first 2, just that the T is confusing me.
Yeah, you're only supposed to be doing what the G is, not what the R or the T is. We haven't gone over those 2 yet. You should just know what the G is so far. All right, make sure you're writing this down. I'm not going to wait too much longer. I don't know if you guys are lagging or what, but I only have like 5 or 6 answers so far. Again, if you are lagging, I'm recording the video so you can watch the video just in case you do lag. All right. All right, so I got to move on just because I don't have forever for this. So you should have had that. Okay. It's a grabber, right? So think of the word grab. It's supposed to grab your attention, right? So it's a grabber. All right, let's go on to the next one. What are one of the different types? If you were listening, you should know one at least. I gave you 4. Give me uno.
Mister, does that have to be one of the ones that you show us?
Yes, I gave you 4. Give me one of the ones I gave you. If you know a different one, I'll give you credit for that, kid. But Michael, it's not the topics. I'm looking at what techniques do you use. What is one of the different techniques that you can use to grab the reader's attention? Good job, peoples. Do, 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 do. That's Geo. That is not correct, my friend. That is correct, Mr. Almonte. Yeah, not images. It's spelled imagine statement, not image statement. Am I missing one still? Titanic, rhetorical. Yeah, I'm still missing one, right? There's one missing. Let's see if anyone can remember what that missing one is. What is the missing one? Good. Yeah, and the last one's a quote. All right, so you guys seem to have it. All right, so let's move on. All right, so now we know the first sentence of your intro should be one of those grabbers. The second part of your intro is the restatement of the question that you're being asked. So whatever it is that the topic is, that's what you put next. You put whatever that question is rewritten back. So if you look at an example of that, do you feel that population control should be banned? I completely oppose to the idea of using population control to deal with it. So I take the sentence and I turn it into a statement. Okay, that's what the R stands for. What does the R stand for? Make sure you are writing a response, my dear. What does the R stand for? Some of us are paying attention. Good job there, Mr. Ivy and Mr. Almonte. Es correcto.
Mister, I forgot this one.
Just went over it, buddy. Gotta pay attention. Miss Venus, awesome. Awesome sauce. That is not correct. Miss Cepeda, you're thinking about the body paragraphs. Good job, Ariani. That is correcto. Bueno. Adrian, correct. Make sure you are responding. I am missing a couple of you guys still. That's not correct, Xavier. Fernando, no. Karen, no. You guys are getting confused with the body paragraphs. This is not the reason, right? In your body paragraph, it's your reason. So body paragraph is transition, reason, details. intro is grabber followed by the restatement. So basically that means you rewrite the question out, okay? Make sure you know this. All right, the last part is the T, which is the thesis. Okay, that's a big word that just basically means your opinion. So, should kids be allowed to chew gum? Your opinion of I think kids should chew gum or I think kids should not chew gum is your thesis, whatever it is that your opinion is. Right? So it's a big word that just basically means whatever side you're on. So your thesis is your position or the opinion on the topic. This is where you state how you feel about the topic and it should be connected to the restatement. The two should be put together. So the G is all by itself, but the R and the T should be next to each other. So you restate the question and you put your thesis. So if you say why should gum chewing be allowed in school, you would say I feel that gum chewing should be allowed in school because it helps you think better, right? That would be the R and the T together. So some examples. What's your position on school uniforms? Example 1, school uniform should not be part of our school system. That's the restatement and the thesis. Or the second one, school uniform should be implemented in every school. That's restatement and thesis. Okay? So those are the three things that need to be in your intro. Your grabber, right? And you got 4 types to use. Then you do the restatement and the thesis. So look at this example here. Do me a favor and on the bottom, actually we can put it on the top. Tell me what type of grabber that is. What type of grabber is that? What type of grabber is that?
Mister, what are we doing at? What are we doing at?
On this one, you're supposed to tell me what kind of grabber it is. Just write it on the top. So we went over 4 different types of grabber. There was a rhetorical question, a meaningful quote, a statistic, or an imagined statement. What kind of grabber is that?
The first one you said?
Yeah. Well, this is a intro. So this is an introduction to a thing. So somewhere in here there's a grabber. So you have to tell me if it's a statistic, a quote, an imagined statement, or I forget which one I left.
Talking about ballet, so I just clicked on this link that takes us to Quaver Books. This menu book is called Ballet. And it says on the first page, what is ballet? Ballet is a type of dance that started in the 15th century in Italy. The 15th century is like a long time ago, about 600 years ago. Ballet tells a story through dance and music. It usually is performed with classical music.
You're sitting too close to whoever that is there, buddy. You should try to give yourself some space that's blasting right next to you, buddy. No wonder it's hard for you to focus. You gotta move away from whoever that is listening to that. Alright, so is that a statistic? Is that a quote? Imagined statement? Or is that a
Rhetorical question?
or rhetorical question? What kind of grabber, Ariani? I know it's a grabber. What kind of grabber? A lot of you guys are getting wrong what it is. No one has gotten it right yet, actually, except for is this one right? I can't read what that says. Yeah, that's correct. Grayson, you got it right, buddy.
Mister, what was the type of grabber?
Yeah, so there's imagined statement, there's meaningful quote, there's statistic, and there is rhetorical question. Jonathan sees it correctly. Good job. Raimi, you got it. Bueno. Who's that? All right. So you should notice that is math facts, right? They're using math to prove their point, so you call that a statistic. Okay, so if you put statistic, that's correct. Let's go with the next one. This is a different type. What kind of grabber is that? Write it on the top when you know.
Mister, we can't type.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to move it to the next one. My bad.
Mister, did you put the new question?
Yeah, it's there. It's I don't know. I guess you're like lagging. Like
Yeah.
your
It's just a green screen.
it's just it's lagging on yours. It's working on some other people's. So you're supposed to tell me what kind of grabber that is.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's there.
Yeah, it's just lagging. Good job, Sierra. That is correct. Jonathan Bueno. Raimi, that is not correct, Senor. Adrian Bueno. Cepeda. I cannot see what you wrote.
Mister, what are the four things that you can choose?
Rhetorical question, statistic, imagine statement, and what's the other one? Which one did I forget? My brain is slow right now. I need more cafe. Which one did I forget? I gotta write them out so I know. So it's rhetorical, statistic, quote, or imagine. Yeah, those four.
Mister, I covered the entire screen with egg dog.
I can see him there. He's very happy right now. Yeah, most of you guys are getting that correct. It's an imagine statement. Again, imagine statement's easy to see because it's the first word, right? So you create like this scenario of a really bad situation, right? So this is what happens here. All right. What is this an example of? What is that an example of? That is correct, Sierra. Jonathan, that's good. Adrian, correct. Elijah, good. All right, give you like another 30 seconds.
Mister, for some reason, every time I do Nearpod and I try to put egg dog,
Yeah.
sometimes there'll be a happy egg dog, and then most of the times there'll be sad egg dog. I try to put happy egg dog. I'm sorry.
Nice. Yeah, that's a sad egg dog, I guess, right?
No, it's just because when the person was cutting its hair, it flinched.
Oof.
It's not sad.
I see. All right, so if you noticed, They are taking the words of someone else. That's a quote. Okay, so you should have written a quote. Okay. And the last one, what kind of grabber is this? It's the last one, the one that you didn't use yet. Yeah, most of you guys are getting this correct. Yeah. All right, so yeah. This is a rhetorical question, okay? So it's a question that kind of makes you think deeper. All right, so again, what you guys are working on today, and I'm probably not even expecting you guys to finish because you don't have too much time. You're working on your body paragraphs. Remember, your body paragraphs are your transition, followed by your reason, followed by details. There should only be one reason per body paragraph. I'm not expecting you guys to finish the third one because there's only like 20 minutes left, but you should get pretty close to being done.
So, Mister, can I finish body paragraph 1, 2 in the introduction?
1 and 2 were supposed to be done yesterday, buddy.
I know, I didn't get to do it.
Yeah. You're supposed to be working on your third body paragraph. If you finish, there's a couple of you who are like moving faster than others. Work on your intro. So now you guys know what to do after. Okay. So work on your body. I'm not going to actually expect you to finish the third body today anyway. If you are moving faster, work on your intro.